welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about running. If you were to ask me probably about 2 years ago if I would ever make a video, be talking about, even have some sort of claim to know what I'm talking about when it comes to running, I wouldn't believe you. I despised running with a passion. It was always something that was just very off-putting to me as someone who's a large chested girl. It was just painful. It was very uncomfortable. I could never find anything that really worked for me. And I was constantly out of breath. So for me, anything to do with running was just like an immediate no. And then I believe it was Global Run Day last year in 2024, where I went to a run event and it kind of just like sparked my interest in running and I just kind of kept going. I wasn't exactly consistent with going, but every now and then I would just pop into the run club and just do my 1 to 2 miles and call it a day. And that would be the only form of running that I did. And then I got to December when I was just trying to figure out, okay, what are the goals that I want? You know, everybody does their New Year's resolutions. And I decided to take it upon myself to sign up for a 10K. Now, the smart thing probably would have been to do a 5K to start off with, but something in me just said like a 5K was a little bit too easy. I felt like I was going to be very laxed during my training because I could run a little bit of a distance. Like I've done a 2-mile run, so to me, a little bit over 3 miles didn't seem like much of a challenge, whereas a 10K, which is a little over 6 miles, was gonna be something I was going to have to train for, I was gonna have to dedicate time for, and that was the type of challenge that I wanted to set for myself. And so January 1st hits, I did not run on the first day, I walked. I wanted to just kind of get my body moving, see how it felt. I maybe did like a light jog in between the walk, but for the most part, I was just walking the entire time. And then the next day I did actually start running and that kind of jump-started my running consistently. I did end up signing up for my 10K. It was actually in February, so I only gave myself a few, or I'd say a little over a month and a half to actually train. And it was peak winter time, so it was very cold outside, but I stayed consistent. I kept running, and even if it wasn't gonna be the best time in the world, my goal was not time, it was definitely completion. I just wanted to prove to myself that, hey, you can sign up for something, you can train for it, and you can complete it. So I did complete my 10K run in February. It was so great. It was a great introduction into racing because I've never done an official race where like you have to sign up, you get your bib, you show up at like that specific time and everyone's just kind of kicking off the run. It was my first experience ever and I did complete it, and I actually completed it in the time frame that I thought that I was going to, which was a little under an hour and a half, which tells you I am not a fast runner. As someone who has been running consistently since January and we're now in August, one thing I have learned is that pace and time is not everything unless you're trying to improve those things. Really, the completion, getting better with your form, getting better with, you know, your breathing, all of that stuff kind of, in my opinion, takes precedence unless you're training for a specific race. That part is going to be the most important part, just because I feel like that's what's going to keep you going. If you get hung up on a certain time, then it may discourage you from continuing to run because you don't meet that goal. You have to run more in order to get the time that you want, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, I completed my race back in February, and then I definitely took a dive with my running. I still stayed consistent, but I definitely did not do my long runs like for that one because again, that was 6 miles. I have not run 6 miles since, but I did want to continue with running. I loved it. It was like such a high that I never expected to happen because again, I hated running. So if you were like me back in January and you do want to start running, here are my tips or things that I have found that have really helped me, that have helped me stay consistent, and that have just made my runs a little bit easier. So the first thing is going to be your shoes. Literally the day after I started my first run, walk, thing like that, January 1st, the day after, because everything was closed on New Year's Day, the day after I went and bought myself some shoes. I just went to one that was closer to me, but you can go to Fleet Feet, whichever shoe store is near you that will do fittings, or I guess like will measure your feet, measure your gait of how you're walking, of how you run. They will measure to make sure that you are getting the correct shoes. And when I tell you, if you take anything away from this video, it is definitely shoes. I never realized how much my shoes really impacted my stride, how much room that your feet have in the shoe, and just comfort level, especially if you're gonna be doing longer distance runs. The shoes make a huge difference. And the shoes that I have, I'm not gonna touch the bottom because these are worn, have not been cleaned, and are definitely dirty, are the Saucony, I have no idea how to pronounce it, but I will put it on the screen. The Hurricanes, this is one of the shoes that they suggested. They didn't have the color that I wanted in stock in the store, so I had to go to a different store. But of the shoes that I did try on that they recommended, these were definitely the most comfortable. It literally felt like I was stepping on a cloud. But everything else I would say take with a grain of salt. It really is just user preference of what works best for you and what will be good on your run and what you want to carry or what you want to use. But I will say investing in a good pair of shoes definitely makes a huge difference. All right, the next thing is going to be a vest. And this, again, is preference. Not everybody loves wearing a vest. Not everybody wants like that extra weight on them. I love having it at least with me in case of an emergency, in case I didn't eat that well, whatever the case may be, and my energy or just like hydration is running low and I absolutely need water. Having this on me is very helpful. I'm able to carry my keys, I can carry my phone, I can carry my AirPods, whatever it is, I can put it all in here. I did have it with me during my race and it definitely came in handy, but the one I have, honestly, I have no idea what the name of the brand is, but I got it off of Amazon. I'll leave a link for it down below if you want to get one just like it. Also, if anyone gives you crap about using a vest, whether it's like a mile run or a 3-mile run or a 6-mile run, whatever it is, if you want to use a vest, use a vest. Everyone always has an opinion on something, but if it works for you, then that's really all that matters. Running is hard enough on its own, so if little things like a vest or just like a gel or whatever it is makes it easier for you, do it. Speaking of gels, the ones that I use, I haven't really tried any other ones, but the Honey Stinger energy gels, I usually just get the fruit smoothie. You can get these at like H-E-B if you live here in Texas. You can also get it on Amazon. Also, the key for the gels is to have them cold, all right? So pop them in the freezer, pop them in the fridge, whatever it is, they need to be cold. I have tried this when it was just room temperature. I just put it in my vest and then midway through my run, I started to consume this and it was absolutely disgusting. So if you're getting the fruit smoothie one, pop it in the fridge and make sure that it's cold on your runs, and it's so much more refreshing, so much more tasty, and in my opinion, better. Next up is going to be watches. I just use my Apple Watch. Honestly, I haven't found a need where like I absolutely need to go out and get like a Garmin or any of the sports like run watches. To me, they do the same thing. Yes, they do have different features and it may help you along the way, but if all you have is an Apple Watch, then I would say just do the Apple Watch. I don't think it's necessary for you to go out and purchase something else unless it is something that's on your wish list that like you want to purchase later down the road. But if you're just starting, do not feel the need that you have to go purchase something if this is all that you have. Even if you don't have a watch, I also think that it's not necessary. If you have a phone, you can download the Nike Run app, you can use Runna, you can use Strava, you can use the tools that you have at hand without having to go out and purchase more things. The only thing, like I said earlier, that I feel like you need to invest in would be the shoes, because that's what you're gonna be using every single run and it takes a lot of impact. So you want something that's gonna be reliable and fitted to your feet. Other than that, I don't think it's necessary for you to go out and purchase things. I'm not really sure how I found out about this app, but it is the perfect app if you are signing up for a race and you're not really sure how to structure your runs or how to get to the goal run. So like for me, when I first started, I had never run anything longer than 2 miles, maybe 3. So signing up for a 10K, I definitely wanted to be more intentional about, okay, I'm gonna run this distance this week to build up to get to the 6.2 miles, and Runna definitely helped out with that. What it does is basically you can plug in the exact race that you are signing up for. Most of them are on there. There are a couple smaller ones that may not be on there, but most of them are on there. So whether or not you're signing up for a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, a marathon, whatever it is, you can put in your exact race date, and then you'll fill out like a little bit of information as far as what you can run or what you're starting at now. So like your pace, your length of time or distance, whatever it is, you'll fill out that information and it will build you a plan from the day that you're starting to run to up to the day of your race. And it will tell you, hey, this is what you need to do this day. This is what you need to do this day. It will build it week by week up until your race and tell you exactly how you need to run. So that way you can meet the goal that you want. It will also give you an estimated time frame of what it thinks that you can complete that run in. So if you're signing up for a 5K, it'll tell you, all right, we think that you can complete it within this time frame. It will literally build everything out for you. And it also has a community part. Running can be very isolating. It's a solo act. Yes, you can run with other people, but at the end of the day, like it's just you running, right? You go as far as you will allow your body to go. And so the community aspect allows you to connect with other people in your area or people who have signed up for that race and be able to connect with them, talk with them. You know, if you have questions, maybe they can answer. I feel like it's just a really good way if you are someone who's a little bit more introvert, or if you're training on your own, to connect with other people who are also doing the same race as you. That way it kind of builds a little bit of community. Hi guys. All right, we are about to head off to our run. I'm very sleepy and very tired, but we're gonna get through this. I'm hoping that it's not gonna be too crazy hot. It's still kind of early in the morning. I'm not gonna do a long run. I haven't ran in like 2 weeks, and I just know that it's not gonna be the best run, but we are gonna get one in, and we are gonna, you know, at least move our body a little bit. So temperature right now, it's 85 degrees, which is kind of insane because it's 10:30 in the morning. I don't know if we're gonna be pushing ourselves today. We're gonna be doing light interval runs. I don't know. I haven't quite figured that all out, but I'm gonna take you guys along with me and we'll see how this all goes. But yeah. All right, first things first, we're gonna pack some electrolytes. This is just a electrolyte, like single packet hydration thing. We're gonna put it in a little water bottle. I just have a feeling, especially when it's hot like this, is when I feel like I need more. Usually I could just do this after the run, but because I don't want to find myself stuck on a trail away from my car and dehydrated, I feel like this is just good to have on hand. Just gonna, alright, just refilled my water pack. There's not a lot in here, but at least it's something. I just realized this is upside down. But at least it's something, like just a little bit of water. And then I've got my vest with me. Sorry if it's super loud. It's too hot for me to turn the AC down. So we did finish our run. We went a little bit over a mile. I don't know all what was recorded, so I may be repeating myself. Sorry if this thing keeps like moving. I'm hoping it doesn't fall because it's so hot that it's hard to stick to the windshield. But basically around or a little bit after half a mile, I had to stop. I was like, okay, I'm not about to injure myself or like hurt myself and pass out. The trail that I usually run that's kind of closer to where I live has absolutely no tree coverage, like no shade whatsoever. In the summer, it's always hard to run that trail, but it's the closest one near me, so I'm always gravitating towards that one. Usually when I run that, I just have to be like extra careful of like making sure I'm not overexerting myself or pushing myself to where I might pass out. It's usually good for early in the morning or like late in the evening. Late in the evening is probably the best bet because the sun is just constantly going down and the temperatures are just dropping by the minute. So I didn't get to make my full mile non-stop. However, I did pretty good, I think, for the time. I think I will put my pace up on the screen. I'm a slow runner to begin with, so don't expect anything like 10s, 9s, 8, 7 minute paces. This is not the channel for that. My average pace is anywhere from 11 to I'd say 13, 14. On a good day, I've hit a 15, 16 minute pace on like really bad days where I'm just running to keep my body moving and not like actually pushing myself because I'm either sick or not feeling the best. But any type of movement is better than no type of movement. I could be sitting on my couch and doing absolutely nothing. So, you know, I just have to keep reminding myself that anytime my pace is a little bit on the longer side. But yeah, this is pretty much the run today. I wish it could have gone better, but it is what it is. I just have to take it like with where we're at. All right, everyone, that's pretty much everything that I have when it comes to running. If you have questions or if you are starting your running journey, please leave a comment down below. And also don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next week.